computer. Does that make sense? Okay. Hello, we're doing opponents. Here we go. Can you, are you good?
Yeah.
Okay, you didn't want to be in the picture all the time?
Yeah.
Sure, cute. No. All right, beautiful people, this is opponents of self-checkout. Okay, you are being recorded. So don't do anything rash. No drama allowed. Okay. Hey, here we go. This is it. See, this is how I do it. Just gonna video here. All right, so those of you who are watching from home, this is, we're gonna have fun without you. So there you go. So what do you like about them? Self-checkout kiosks?
Fast.
Yeah.
More efficient.
Pretty fast, faster waiting in line.
Are they? Are they, Cashel? Are they really? And I'm gonna argue today. No, they're not. You just think you are. They are. And these companies, you, ladies and gentlemen, are being manipulated. Okay, so let's talk about what self-checkout, the problems at self-checkout. So go to, flip through, and you're gonna go to the page, nobody likes self-checkout. Go in your packet. Here's why it's everywhere. So have you seen this prompt come up where the kiosk freezes and says, unexpected item in the bagging area? Please place the item in the bag. Please wait for assistance. Okay, does that make it faster? Or does that slow down the process, Cashel? Alrighty. If you've encountered these irritating alerts, you're not alone. According to a survey of 1,000 shoppers, 67% experienced a failure at the self-checkout lane. If 67% of people are experiences a failure, it's not faster. Agreed? It's gonna slow you down. Okay. There are apparently memes and TikTok videos all over the internet. So we're gonna do a couple of, I can tell you, but you're not gonna believe it. So I'm gonna give you experts. The first one is gonna be Sylvain Charlevoix. He's the director of the Agri-Food Analytics Lab at Dalhousie University in Nova Scotia. He gets to research self-checkout for a living. I actually think that would be a pretty cool job. I imagine you'd see some pretty cool stuff. Yes? Customers aren't the only ones frustrated with self-checkout. Stores have challenges with it too. Okay, what would be the challenge of a store? What would a store have to worry about? Well, this shouldn't shock you. But the CEO of Walmart in December of 2022, that was 3.5 months ago, said, 4.5 months, we're in the 4th month, almost 4 months ago, said Walmart reported the highest losses ever in the history of the company. Who has the most self-checkout kiosks? Have y'all been in Walmart? I mean, like, okay, they are manipulative. Like, you have 2 ends of the store and they funnel you to the self-checkout area. How many checkout kiosks? Like 20, right? With maybe 1 or 2 attendants. And then the traditional lane is right in the
One little
lane, and as all the cigarette and tobacco, right? And I'm like, so it almost feels like they're forcing you in that direction, right? Okay, have you also noticed they have these big cameras now? The big artificial intelligence cameras now. It feels like you're at the TSA security checkpoint, right? And they're like all over you. They're like watching. Because you got a lot of shoplifting going on. Yes? Can you see why that would be happening right now in our economic times? You know, think about grocery store prices. They're the highest they've ever been, right? Okay, do you know the difference between organic produce and non-organic?
Like GMO.
Pesticides. So if you have organic, it doesn't have any of the pesticides. It's all, you know, grown.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Are they more expensive? Oh, yeah. Like you can get strawberries for $3.99 or $6.99. That's what organic is.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you scan your own strawberries, say hypothetically, it'll be on a scanner, but sometimes if it's like bulk, like apples, right? You have to put in the code.
Oh, and you know, I'm like,
Oh, she's thinking like a criminal. What could you do?
just plug in
Just
the
put
regular.
all these red delicious that are non-organic, and you get your organic apples at your non-organic price. Do you think people do that? Okay, so I don't know if you know this, a lot of the scanners are weight sensors.
Mhm.
Okay, so there's a combination now. It used to all be weight. So what they can do is they can scan, weight it. Now they have a camera, and now they have a way to take a security tag off. So I don't know if you know this, there are security tags on meat at your grocery store, especially if you have like steak or something that's higher priced. There's a security tag on it. I don't know if you know this, ladies, gentlemen with clothes. The security labels are now sewn in. Have you noticed that? So it has to go across something. So if you're trying to take it without it going across, it used to have like those big things. They don't really do that anymore because it destroys the clothing, and people found a way around that too. So I think it's fascinating. So shoplifters have become really incredible during the pandemic. I mean, I don't even know what to say, how savvy they are. So here's a couple things. And forgive me because I could do it in here, but I'm doing it from memory because it is the last day and I have it memorized. There are people that come in with scanning bracelets with codes. And they'll scam it that way. They will scan every device in their cart and then they will leave without paying. That's bold, right? Super bold. They will try to switch price tags. My favorite is a $948 plasma TV. They will replace it with a $4.99 DVD or a $1,600 grill, and they'll put a $5 item inside the grill and scan the $5 item instead of the $1,600 grill, which I think is pretty bold, right? Do you know what a skimmer is?
I like scan some and then scan.
Okay, what a skimmer is, and they've been around a long time, ATM machines and gas pumps. This is the favorite way criminals, that they can open up, you know, where you put your credit card in, they open it up and they put the skimmer device in. And then they close it up and you don't know they've put it there, right? Because no one's watching a gas pump. There's no attendant, is there? Right? Okay, so they let 4 or 5 cars go by, and that skimmer device records not only your credit card, but the PIN number that you put in. So they have immediate access to your account. And they just start charging immediately, see what they can get away with, right? Pretty fast. And they can just, it could be like an hour or two, they go back and they go grab back and get their skimmer back. They do that at Walmart now, when the attendant is not looking. So now the attendant has to look for a skimmer as well. Okay, so I want you to go to page 3, and I want you to hear the perspective of a Walmart employee who works as an attendant for the self-checkout kiosks. Are you ready, everybody? This is 25-year-old James. He's the head cashier at a Washington State store. He's worked for 4 years. He only has 4 cashiers. He should work at our Walmart here in Louisville. Crazy. He says customers take out their frustrations on him. He barely makes minimum wage. He says, here's what a customer says. This should be your freaking job, not mine. And by the way, I changed that word to freaking. That wasn't what it was. Are we all clear? Can you imagine? You don't get paid enough to, right? I said, sir, no one's forcing you to come to the self-checkout. If you want a cashier, you can go to register 3. How do you think that went across? I'm thinking more expletives in James' face. Whoa, what was that?
I'm not sure.
Is that your
Sorry,
phone?
I'm so sorry. I don't know what that was.
And maybe I got it worked up. James is required to survey an uninterrupted stream of up to 4 customers at once, like a shark with blood in the water. I love that, as they struggle with the scanner and touchscreen and sometimes try to shoplift. How would he know, by the way, if someone was trying to shoplift it? And that's an awful lot to put on a 25-year-old to confront somebody who's shoplifting. Don't you think? So interesting. So it's not just shoplifting, it's also user error. Are we trained to cashiers? So you understand that we are replacing traditional cashiers, and that these businesses, these big retail businesses who can afford these self-checkout kiosks, they're cutting labor costs. self-checkout kiosks are not about you and me. They don't care about the customer. They just took away your personal customer service. They don't care about you. They're trying to cut costs, right? So you are now doing the job of the traditional cashier. You, Cashel, are scanning your own groceries, bagging your own groceries. You're doing the job of the cashier. And you think it's faster and more convenient. Why? Because doing all those things keeps you busy. It's perception. You think it's faster because you're not sitting there waiting on someone else. Okay, but let's step back just a step here. Self-checkout kiosk was always intended for a few items, always. So the more items you're checking out, the higher the probability something will go wrong. Are we all clear on that? Okay. I think I missed something on page 2. Let's go back to page 2. This is Christopher. Oh, this is Charlotte Button. The next one I want to go to is Walkaways. Christopher Andrews is a sociologist at Drew University, author of The Overworked Consumer, Self-Checkout, Supermarkets, and Do-It-Yourself Economy. He says we've eliminated some of the tasks of traditional cashiers. Okay, so they cut costs, they cut the cashiers, right? Like at Walmart. Now they have to create jobs for higher IT personnel to come in and maintain these self-service kiosks. So MIT has done a study and found just 4 self-service kiosks. Like there's 4 at Tom Thumb here. There's 4 at Target. Is $125,000. Can a small company afford that? So have you noticed who has self-checkout kiosks? Your big chains, just your big chains. Those are the only ones who can afford it. So what they're saying is it's incurring other costs. Well, yeah, you cut all these cashiers, but now you had to hire a person that makes $200,000 a year. That's an IT specialist, right? So you're not saving money. And you're losing money on shoplifting and customer errors. So the next one here, customers make honest errors as well. Some products have multiple barcodes or barcodes that don't scan. Produce, including fruit and meat, needs to be weighed and manually entered into the system using a code. So customers may type in the wrong code by accident or on purpose. Other times shoppers won't hear the beep confirming an item has been scanned properly. According to Beck, consumers are not good at scanning. Why should they be? They're not trained. Other customers take advantage of the lax oversight at self-checkout aisles and develop techniques for stealing. Common tactics include not scanning an item, swapping a cheaper item, bananas for steak, scanning counterfeit barcodes attached to their wrists. Never would have occurred to me. Properly scanning everything and then walking out without paying. Additional anti-theft measures lead to more frustrating, unexpected item in the bagging area errors requiring store employees to intervene. So this is why you're seeing more of those. Those are self-checks. Those are trying to catch errors. So when it catches an error, like maybe you didn't scan something, the assistant comes over to see if you're shoplifting. Did y'all know that? They're coming over to see if you're trying to scam them. But you just think it's a fault with the system. Interesting. Go to page 3. That's James. Okay, I think I did him. I think if there's anything on 4. Okay, this is the fun scammer ones. We'll go to right here on page 4 where it says self-checkouts have become a prime target for fraudsters. White sensors can be defeated by ringing up expensive items like king crab legs. They're like $70, by the way. With cheap items like apples, a $1,600 grill hiding a $5 item inside, switching the barcodes. So Walmart is known for aggressively prosecuting shoplifters, has installed AI-powered cameras near its checkout areas with a missed scan detection feature. It turns what's supposed to be to leisurely activity into a quasi-TSA airport-style security check. I actually put that in your outline. I love that. I don't go to Walmart anymore, everybody. I feel like I'm being scrutinized. There's even a thing on social media right now where Walmart is so aggressively going after shoplifters. Okay, so here's my question. How do you know if somebody made an honest mistake or somebody's stealing, right? So people are like, they're going after me, and I just missed it. So that's really tough. That's a hard one. See if there's anything else I want to do. Okay, so Trader Joe's, I mentioned this. Trader Joe's is one of those few grocery stores that refuses self-checkout. IKEA, another store, they had self-checkout, and they felt like they had too many losses and it depersonalized the shopping experience. So Tara Miller, Trader Joe's vice president, says, our people remain our most valued resource. While other retailers were cutting staff and adding things like self-checkout and outsourcing and curbside pickup, we were hiring more crew, and we continue to do that. Our crew will be in stores to help you find what your next product is, just as they've always been. So they're good customer service. So have y'all been to a Trader Joe's? Love them. I love them. Like, it's a nice shopping experience. My daughter lived in a dorm in New York City. Trader Joe's was underneath. Palladium was the dorm, literally underneath. She goes, we all love Trader Joe's. Like, they had, okay, so Trader Joe's was underneath their dorm, and so was their food service. None of the people in the dorm would go to the food service. They would go to Whole Foods. Yeah. It was really interesting. So she kind of like, you need to go to Trader Joe's. I go, I do. So fascinating. So I just think that's really interesting. Now, I refuted that, those of you who've done the other side. Okay, how am I doing? Not good. Okay, let's go to your outline. So let's go back to self-service. How did this begin? Ladies and gentlemen, we like self-service. We do. Because self-service started with vending machines. 1600s. I love a vending machine. I like to put my money in. Now you can put your credit card in. I like to make my code, and I like it to go drop down, and I like to put the little drawer, and I like to pull it out. There's something fun about that. So this is why your generation loves self-checkout. I think the pandemic did a number on all of us. Yes. We got into some habits with self-checkout. Yes. Have you noticed how many more, like, we were bombarded by them in the last 3 years? Those companies took advantage of us. So here's what a self-service checkout does. It self-scans. It's an automated technology which allows a buyer of goods to use a touchscreen monitor to communicate with the program computer. Customers wave individual items across the scanner, which rings up their purchase with the correct code and price, all while deactivating any security tags. The customer can then self-pay, grab their bag, and exit the store. So this is why fraudsters like to ring it all up. They know that it deactivates all those security tags. You have to go to that effort, and then they'll go out of the store without paying. Does that make sense? Which I'm pretty sure they've got to be onto that one, don't you think?
And then I think they have like those ones some people that check their receipts at some stores.
Okay, so you want to know why? Here's another scam. Okay, so people are going to the self-checkout and putting in a Visa gift card for like $20. Not a big amount, just like $20. And then they leave it in there and put the credit in the debit card. The next person starts scanning, not realizing there's a $20 gift card in there. And maybe they don't check the amount, and they've just bought that person a $20 gift card. So that's actually happened. It's in here. She went to her receipt and went to the attendant and says, why is there a $20 Visa gift card on there? And she goes, yeah, we've had scammers doing that. So the person's walking around in the store to see if it's activated. It's genius. Genius. I don't know if you noticed this, like, people don't, sometimes they just start scanning and they don't look at their receipt. I do. I always look at it. I'm like, okay, that's not that was high. And I'll look at it. And I do all my expenses here as well. So I do. Okay. More and more retailers are changing over to and relying on self-checkout technology. So despite the fact that self-checkout is perceived, does everyone get that word, perceived, to be faster and more convenient, studies show they don't save time and are more inconvenient and ineffective. Does this surprise you? A little bit? Okay, I do think it's the number that you check out. And we've talked about this if you've done proponents. I think I did a survey of how many items do you check out at one time, and most it's 15 to 20. So the odds are the probability is much higher of something going wrong the more you check out. So Technology has been unable to deliver what it's promised. Walmart, one of the biggest and successful retail chains, is a prime example of a company who's currently I think they're the most reliant company on self-checkout. And Walmart customers are frustrated by machine errors, taking it out on employees. So this is that sweet James anecdotal story here. I think you won't believe me, but you'll believe an attendant who works it. I'm sure they have horror stories, especially Walmart. There's something about the clientele at Walmart. If you look at the demographics of Walmart, there's a poor population of people that are checking out groceries. And we're living in a time where groceries are the highest they've ever been, and people are desperate, so they're gonna do things, right? Okay. Number 2, turn to the backside. Christopher Andrews, he's a sociologist who studied, I'm on the backside of your outline, the effectiveness of self-checkout, and wrote a book, The Overworked Consumer, Self-Checkout Supermarkets and the Do-It-Yourself Economy. According to Andrews, these machines were designed to reduce a retail store's labor expenses. For customers, they are not faster than the regular self-checkout line. His findings showed, don't believe me, it only feels like it because your time is occupied doing tasks rather than paying attention to each second ticking away. Because shoppers are scanning their items, backing it themselves, and paying without assistance, they don't realize how much time has transpired. Okay. This is why customers think it is faster when it's actually shown to be no faster than traditional checkout. And then Sylvain Charlebois, if you don't believe that, here's another one, says, in a survey, 67% said they'd experienced a failure. What does that tell you? It's not faster. It's going to be slowed down. When it comes to self-checkout, what should be quick and easy is the opposite. As an example, MIT studied different issues which can impact shopping and found not only software glitches, problems with the scales, oversensitive prompting messages, and any error still needs an employee to assist, which may increase the wait time if they're serving several customers at a time. I went to Tom Thumb the other day and I was like, so there's 4, there was no attendant anywhere. This one in Capel.
Yeah, they're always missing. And then now they've just literally last month they installed those other 2. Did you see those?
No, there's 2 more
There's 2 more. So there's those 4, and then they put 2 more over
on the
there.
other side.
Yeah.
And there's no attendant.
There's no attendant, and what's it called? Those other 2 are in the corner. They're in the back. So you all the teenagers go to the other 2. Because it's to the back of the other one. Because there's
Did you see his grin here? Because teenagers would know how to circumvent the system. Because y'all are geniuses.
Because
Unbelievable.
What's the word? The cashier over here, his back is this way. So it's
no monitoring whatsoever. Do they have cameras?
Probably, but
those teenagers better beware because there's usually cameras
there's always
on the machine. Well, the Walmart ones have the cameras looking right at you, and now they have
And they go the one on
the new artificial intelligence cameras, like the high big money ones.
It's so weird. There was one, I think I was scanning a bar of chocolate or something, and it didn't work well for the second bar of chocolate. And it was like, what is going on? What am I doing? I'm about to get arrested. It showed little and it had this clip of me doing it wrong. And I was like, oh my gosh, y'all really
What was that?
at Walmart. And they
No.
and it shows the little video clip of you not scanning it right. And so it's that product, and it tells you which product it is, by the little video. I'm go back and do it. The lady came over.
Oh, there's this other thing on social media too, because since Walmart employees also get minimum wage, a lot of them don't want to deal with it. They're saying, you pay me literally minimum wage.
Right.
We're not gonna deal with angry customers. So they let a lot of customers go.
Yeah.
So they just leave
And
it.
rightly so. Nobody should have to deal with that.
So instead, because they're all mad at all the CEOs and everything, because they keep on spending so much money on the cameras and all this other stuff, and they just increase the.
Yeah, just hire people. Right, okay, I agree. Okay, you want to be grossed out? I gotta give you some grossness. Come on. Even more disturbing are findings from a study done by the UK-based Infection Innovation Consortium lead researcher Dr. Adam Roberts, took random samples from items a customer might purchase in the grocery store after having them scanned on a self-checkout kiosk, and discovered the self-checkout samples had one of the highest bacterial loads. They found 5 different types of potential disease-causing bacteria surviving on them. Roberts reported finding the bacteria Enterococcus originating from human feces. Oh, yeah. All it takes, ladies and gentlemen, is someone going to the bathroom, number 2, not wiping, or wiping and not washing their hands, and they touch the self-screen device that you just touched. People do that. We used to, in elementary school, have to sit over the kids and go, you just went to the bathroom, wash your hands. They don't wash their hands. They'll go into the bathroom and not wash their hands. That's why they used to have them out in the hallways. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So in the hallways, kids don't do it.
It's not just kids.
Oh, I know, girl. Okay. Oh, you're not gonna get me. Okay, number 2. When it comes to implementing self-service, big retail companies can afford the higher upfront costs and report higher incidences of theft. And this is the MIT, how much it costs for 4, the Walmart CEO. These are just the fun. I think if you're going to do a body paragraph, number 2 is much more fun, right? The skimmer, we talked about that one, right?
Yeah.
So that kind of describes the skimmer. And then number 3, this is just honest errors. Okay, so something fascinating here I'm going to end class with. Customers have been known to put in the incorrect code. Adrian Beck says, why do you expect them to scan reliably? We're not trained, right? The National Retail Foundation reported a study by Leicester University, and here's what they said. If you had a retail store where half of the transactions were through self-checkout, losses would be 77% higher, which is exactly what's happening at Walmart. So here's a survey they did at NRF. So they had 1 million buyers scan 6 million items. 850,000 of the 6 million items, 1/7 were not scanned. Not because they tried to fraud, just error. That's a lot of losses, right? Okay, here's what's really fascinating too. A self-service checkout may even urge those people to steal who would otherwise never consider it. You know, the machine makes you mad, or it's so depersonalized. Oh, I didn't scan it, don't care. Oh, I literally did this with, I could not find the code for my, I don't even remember what fruit it was. I'll just put this in. If you don't show me the code, I'm going to put something else in. I literally did that. I was like, I got so frustrated with the machine. I think people are going to do that. So it appears self-service machines may cost more than their initial price tag. User error and criminal activity may make future retailers turn back to traditional and more personalized checkouts instead. I wonder what's going to happen to Walmart, because I agree. I don't even want to shop there anymore. So self-checkout, not what it's cracked up to be. Are you shocked?
So when I went to Walmart, there were usually when you leave Walmart, there's like a person who like checks your bags. Except like when me and my friend, we just went to the self-checkout and then we were like leaving and like he didn't really like check our bag.
They don't do that anymore. They're assuming that the technology will do it for them.
I remember thinking like, what if someone did steal something? Like, I'm just gonna
I
get
think that would be a deterrent. Have them check them anyway. Can I see a receipt? Just make somebody accountable. You don't even have to do it every time.
Oh, you know, like in Stamps Club, they have like the thing, like the one on the app where you like scan it on your phone and stuff.
Yeah.
And they've got that, but like they got the little QR code where like the person at the end scans and it's like the checks like scans some of your products, right? But what it does on the app is like once they scan the QR code, it's gone. Like you can't open that QR code back on your phone again. Because if you went like again and you were just like to bring the same items, like then they can't do that.
Smart.
And I didn't think about that until after. I was like, oh, like I can't open the QR code anymore. Well, like mom.
Because they have to be, because people are
Uh-huh.
scamming so badly right
Yeah.
now. It makes me, I think because it's just timing wise, I think the pandemic accelerated fraud and criminal activity, don't y'all? And then you have self-checkout booming at the same time. So we just have massive fraud, right?
Mhm.
All right, you're good to go. You're staying? Anybody else staying for? Ooh, let's see if anybody else. Anybody else?
I don't think so.
Okay,
Just me. I don't know. Are they all the same?
just him.
Oh, you guys not seeing it.
Yeah, you're good to go. Thank you. Great. One more. I'll see you Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay, be cute. This is an interview.
Okay.
Okay,
Um,
I'm gonna have questions for you.
I have a couple too.
Okay, we'll talk Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Dress for the job you want. Okay, all right, I'm not worried, just giving you all advice. Okay. 135, this is proponents. You ready? Let's switch gears. All right, Cashel, private class, I love it. Okay, so I had a really hard time with proponents, gonna tell you. Because. Man, just not as strong of arguments for this one, okay? Okay, here we go, here's proponents. Oh, give myself one. In case somebody comes in, which I think they'd be here by now, but it may lock up. Does that make sense? Like I hear somebody, you hear?
Yeah.
Are you late? Join us. We are recording. Okay, another one. We are recording. So I'm recording. So if you could go right there. You made it. Was the door locked? No, I'm recording right there. Can you come over here? Just, you can come in the big chair if you want. Okay. Are they, how'd you get in? Somebody came out?
Yeah, and I also buy shirts.
You're like, I'm just, I can't get in the door.
Yeah.
Okay, you're here, we're good, it's all good. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Everybody. Okay, should we check in a bit? You wanna go check real quick? Do you mind checking? Run, Castle, run! Okay, just check the front door and the back door real quick. Woo, everybody's waited till the last day. Great, do you want water?
I'll go get water.
I know. Gotta wait for Castle to wake it up. I have one, I just don't have a whole one. Here.
Oh.
You're welcome.
Please Earth Day, so I'm gonna be good for the environment and I'm gonna bike here.
You what?
Today's Earth Day.
Oh, and I got plastic water bottles. Well, you know what?
It's okay.
Do what you gotta do, girl. Sorry, it's not cold.
No, it's okay. Water is water. Water tastes
special. Yes, it'll be cold for the next person. We had a little hiccup. Those of you who are on the Zoom recording, we are waiting to see if anybody else. No, thank you for checking. Okay, breathe, Mary, breathe, like I'm breathing too. Hi. Okay, so everybody's done opponents, correct? Okay, so they're not so great, are they? All right, so I want to tell you, everybody, I had to work really hard to find anything good. Okay, so nothing is black and white. This is what this class is all about. And I think the idea of self-checkout is a good one, right? So what it's intended for, let's look at the intention of it. When you go grocery shopping, I'm about to sneeze now. It's coming. Hold on. And it's a big one. This is why I haven't cleaned it, so I'm not spewing it all over you. You're welcome. When you go to the grocery store, traditional cashier lines have people with these big full carts, right? And they slow everybody down. So if you only have a few items, do you want to get behind the person with 50 items in their cart? You avoid them like the plague, don't you? Right? So what they did in traditional stores was they created express lanes. Did y'all know what express lanes were? Right? It started out as 7 or less. Right? This is probably 15 years ago. So what it was intended for was those people that just have a few items, let's get them in and out of the store and let's not clog up the lines, right? Okay, then it went to 10 items or less. And I would get so mad because the people with 10 items would come in with 15. So then they moved it to 15 items or less. And they'd come in with 20 or 25, right? So they always kind of push the envelope. That's what happened to self-checkout, agreed? How many items do you check out when you go to self-checkout, Ananya, with your family?
Like 6 to 10.
Okay,
Maximum 10.
10. Yeah. You know, most of my students said 20. 15 to 20. Okay, so the odds of something going wrong increase the more items you try to check out with, correct? So just to be clear, self-checkout is fast when you're only checking out a few items. But that's not what people are doing at self-checkout, agree? Have you seen people at self-checkout with quite a few items? Do they kind of make you mad? A little bit? You're like, well, I'm not going to that line, right? Okay, so they did a study at the Washington Post. They took 5 different people, sent them to 5 different grocery stores to buy the same 5 items. They wanted to see if it was fast. All 5 were done in under 2 minutes. Okay, but the reason it was fast and efficient was because it was legitimately just a few items. Okay, so it can be, everyone, very, very convenient. Agree? It can be very, very convenient. Let's talk about safety. Do you feel safer? Did you feel safer during the pandemic on a self-service kiosk? Why?
Because I'm not in contact with,
Agree. No cashier breathing on us, looking at us, right? Nobody really close to you, like you have your own little space, right? Felt pretty safe. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say we also got into a habit. We liked feeling safe. We liked the anonymity. We didn't like people around us, right? Do you know how many days it takes to change a habit? 30. So if you go on a diet or you start exercising, it takes 30 days before that habit is ingrained. If you don't wait the 30 days, you're going to go right back to your old habits, right? So how long has the pandemic been going on? Years, right? So I think we got into habits of going, and it felt convenient. We perceived it that way. We perceive it as safer. So it's not just safer infectious disease wise, it's safer with our credit card information too, right? In most places, you don't hand your credit card to somebody anymore. That kind of stopped with the pandemic too. The only exception would be a drive-through. Have y'all gone to a drive-through and given somebody your credit card? Or you go to a restaurant and give somebody your credit card, right? Okay, that is the least secure you can be. My son recently went to a Whataburger drive-through. Within an hour, his bank was calling him with fraudulent charges on his card. You remember there's a lot of criminals right now trying to scam, and they get your credit card information and they write it down and they try to scam you, right? So I told my son, I said, yeah, you need to, that's the thing about drive-throughs, Chick-fil-A you can put your credit card in their little machine. If you go to the Chick-fil-A drive-through, that's preferable. So fast food restaurants now have kiosks in their stores. Have you seen them? Where? McDonald's, anyplace else? Taco Bell, Panera, they have them at Olive Garden. Okay, that's what's great about them. So we had this conversation this week about Taco Bell, just came up. But I'm gonna do the McDonald's study first, because this is fascinating. And this is 2004. They did an experiment. They put the McDonald's kiosk in, so you could go to the kiosk or go to the cashier. Either one, right? Same store. People ordered 30% more on the kiosk. More likely to upsize their order. Like, it would say, do you want to make that large? 30% more on the kiosk than the cashier. Can you explain that? What if you're overweight? Would you feel more comfortable ordering on a kiosk versus in person? Why? Bingo. You don't feel judged. Okay, are there items, ladies, that we purchase that we don't want to be judged about? Or maybe we want to keep them private. How about you? What if you have dandruff? Okay, I don't know if you know this, you can go to Walmart or CVS and you can buy a drug test, you can buy a pregnancy test. You can have a prescription for certain things you may not want people to know that you have. You want to check out with that? With some person who may or may not respect your privacy, right? Can you just do a pregnancy test or a drug test and somebody at your school works there? It is none of their business, is it? So I love that. I love the idea that whatever I purchase is private. The other thing is sometimes I'm just not in the mood to deal with somebody, right? I don't wanna deal with your attitude, I don't wanna deal with your whatever. So this brings up the Taco Bell one. So one of my students says, I'm vegetarian. I said, okay. She goes, when I go to Taco Bell and I order my vegetarian, they're like, you don't want meat? And she's like, no, I don't eat meat. And she goes, even though I order it, I still will get meat and I have to take it back up. And she's like, but if I order on the kiosk, it's customizable. My order never gets messed up. And I was like, I never thought about it that way. Had you? Right? I love the kiosks at the airport. Whoever invented those, genius. We used to travel, you go through that long line with all your luggage, right? There would be 4 of us. Okay, you have to check into your flight 24 hours in advance anyway. You have your boarding pass on your phone anyway, right? So you go right up to the kiosk, you flash your boarding pass on your phone, it spits out your baggage like it says. I even pay for my baggage before I ever get to the airport. Like when you check in for your flight, you can upgrade your seat, you can, how many bags you want to pay for in advance because it's not free anymore. So I literally go in and it spits it out. I go to the side, I don't go through that long line, I drop off my bag and I'm like through. And then I have TSA pre-check. So I'm really flying. I'm like, I love it. Love the airport. And there's always a friendly attendant at American or like, because sometimes I'll like, which way does my phone go? She goes, put it that way. And I go, let me just do it for you. And I'm like, okay, I'll let her do it for me. So I kind of like it. But I think when it works, it's very convenient. Can we all agree? When it works, it's great. So I think the companies that are doing it with an attendant, with a full service attendant, I think it's very, very effective. I think the Walmarts that you see where it's too many. I think those are the ones getting in trouble. So if you go to page 1 in your packet. In 2019, a survey by Capgemini, this is an IT service and consulting firm. They found 60% of the more than 5,000 respondents pointed to long lines as a pain point in the shopping experience. So why are self-checkouts convenient? They eliminate the long lines. You have a way to bypass the long lines. Agreed? People don't like lines. Slow-moving lines also send a message that a company doesn't care about you. So I will give Walmart this. It is fast. You do get in and out of there. The self-checkout is fast. 60% of respondents prefer self-checkout over cashier assisted if given the option. A lot of this was because of the pandemic, though. People felt safer. I personally felt safer. Go to page 2. So it's not just safety with attitudes about the pandemic, it's safety with your credit card, with your information. Does that make sense? You have a more secure checkout. Shekel, a weighing technologies company, said 87% of respondents said they would prefer to shop in retail stores with touchless or robust self-checkout options. So customers like them. Now, they don't have Mrs. Hensel teaching them that they're not all they're cracked up to be, right? I don't think most people know that self-checkout is really about them putting the onus on customers, like you're doing the cashier's job. Most people don't look at it that way, do they? Did you look at it that way before today? But now that you know what they're doing, do you feel a little bit more manipulated? I don't think, but I think it's perception. They're making you feel like, oh, it's more convenient for you. But you're actually doing the work for them, for our cashiers. Thank you very much. See if there's anything else we can do on this page. Next page. Oh, this is the McDonald's experiment. Some people like to be in control of what's going on. Some people like to have a private experience. If I'm going to be buying something that may be a personal item, I might prefer to buy it on my own without help. This is Christina Forrest, a senior project for Fujitsu, which makes self-checkout machines. I do agree with that. There are certain items that I want to purchase without somebody scrutinizing me or judging me. I went into Walmart recently because I buy candy for y'all, $60 worth of candy. She looks at me like, are you looking at candy binge, girl? Are you diabetic? And I was like, I kind of stopped, like, I said, I'm a teacher. She goes, oh, I understand. But I was like, why should I have to explain to you, if I wanted to eat $60 worth of grocery or candy? I mean, it's stupid, but it's none of your business, right? Yeah. But yeah, I just kind of was like, wow. NCR is the world's leading manufacturer of self-checkout kiosks. The reason stores are wanting to be efficient is because they've got to stay more relevant on price. So basically stores are saying, if we want to offer our customers better prices, we have to cut costs and we have to cut cashiers. So basically it's saying we benefit, right? And I'm a little bit more cynical than that. I don't know about you all. Let's see if there's anything on the back page. Okay, let's go the other way. We're at 10 minutes. Okay. I think the retail industry has changed in the last 3 years dramatically. Have you seen more self-checkout kiosks than ever before? Yeah. Large companies like Walmart are adding even more, hoping to improve stores' revenues. They believe cutting cashiers will free up employees to take on other responsibilities and allow the rest of the store to run more smoothly. Yeah, that's why they do it. It seems as if customers today, though, especially you all, my young people, you perceive them to be faster, agreed? Or you did until today, right, Cashel? And enjoy the freedom and privacy these machines give them. I think it's also a sign of just the times. Have we become depersonalized? Hasn't shopping become depersonalized? Think about what happened with online shopping over the pandemic, right? Do you still online shop a lot of things? Yeah, we do too, that we never did before the pandemic. Again, it's that habitual behavior, but it depersonalizes the experience, right? My daughter and I like, and sometimes I don't know if girls or casual, you've gone shopping for clothes. They don't even have much in the stores anymore, right? So like, it's kind of tricky to shop these days, right? And if you really want to go shop for something nice, you're like, wow, where could I even go where I could get customer service in a nice dress, right? Let's say you have prom. Where could you even go, right? To try on dresses. You just don't have places that do that much anymore. Oh, by the way, there's a place if you want to know where it is. So those who oppose this surge believe they've been forced upon customers so businesses can profit. So this is the other side. They believe stores will convince consumers to perform the same jobs as the cashiers they cut. So here's my argument, and body one is textbook. One strong argument in favor of more companies installing self-checkout is their offer of convenience. I never said they were faster. I did say they were more convenient. We feel that way. I feel that way. I feel like it's an option. Safety, we've talked about, and privacy. So no customer wants a long line. This is that Capgemini quote. So why do we like self-checkout kiosks? It replaces the long line. They fit the bill. US-based National Restaurant Association, more than 2/3 of American consumers between 18 and 34 use self-service at quick serve restaurants. Remember, this is the Taco Bell. This is the McDonald's. This is an anecdotal story from Cody Turner, a 27-year-old photographer, prefers the self-service approach when it comes to everything. Got buying concert tickets, to banking, to choosing an airline seat. Self-checkout saves him time. At least that's what he believes. It is time saver, more convenient, and they will continue to want to use them. Before today, or before I did this essay, did you think they were faster? So you know better now. Do you think your parents think they're faster? Look what you know that they don't know, right? Long lines have been off-putting for another reason, the pandemic. Nobody wants to be surrounded by people, so we felt safer with infectious diseases. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? COVID's not going anywhere. The flu, still around from 1918? Guess what? COVID will always be here. There will always be new strains. Did y'all hear about the new strains in India? Apparently, someone in India got 2 strains of COVID at the same time, which mutated into a new strain, which is more contagious than the Omicron variant. And it is flooding through India right now. Like thousands of people have the new strain. That's what viruses do. Okay, but here's the good news. Don't panic. The virus at this point is so diluted. It's not the same as the origin. It has been diluted, but it doesn't mean you still can't get very sick. So I like the idea of a self-checkout kiosk. The flu is very real. COVID is still real. Strep is real. There are other diseases out there, rotavirus. There are things out there, ladies and gentlemen. Have you been sick in the last, since you took off your mask? Have you been sicker than you've ever been? What you did was you stopped, your body from creating an immune defense. So when you took your mask off, did you get sick for a while? Everybody did. Your body had to build up an immune system, a defense, because there's other things. So I still like the self-checkout for that reason. This Danish sorry, did I go too far? No, just the one at the table, just I think the Taco Bell, the McDonald's. Personal transactions are private. Okay, I don't think I have to tell you that one. I think you get the gist on that one, right? Okay. Body 2, speedy checkout. It is speedy if you only have a few items, right? But the probability of something going wrong is going to increase the more items you check out. So if you only have 2 or 3 items, you're probably going to have a speedy, fast, convenient checkout. If you go into the self-checkout lane with 30 items, the probability of something going wrong is going to be higher. Agreed? Is it going to be faster? Not with 30 items, it isn't, right? This is that McDonald's one here. I think body 2, I think it's number 3. Okay, so this is that Washington Post, the 5 different people. So I want to tell you this really cool thing, the Danish queuing theory. So I was at Tom Thumb and they had 4 Tom Thumb. And by the way, no attendant anywhere at Tom Thumb, 0. And this one guy is like, he's like, where's an attendant? I need an attendant. There were 4 of us in line. Okay, so here's this Danish queuing theory. This is from a Good Housekeeping report in the 1900s. The data analyst Wes Stevens said one giant checkout line at self-checkout is much faster. Why? Okay, if you were in a traditional line and that guy was holding everybody up, everybody in that line would be slowed down, right? Okay, but there are 3 other kiosks. Yes, he slowed the line down, but I could go to the other 3. Have you ever noticed why there's not 4 lines? It's not faster. So one line is faster. That's the Danish queuing theory. It actually still works today. I also talked about last week, Trader Joe's and IKEA and certain companies saying it depersonalizes shopping. We want a personalized experience. Well, according to Josh Schneed, the CEO of Rainwalk Pet Insurance, active, engaged, and friendly customer service is part of Trader Joe's brand, but they might be making a mistake by ignoring self-checkout machines. And it gives 2 reasons. They're an express lane that's always open. They're much less expensive than a human cashier. And then I like this one. There's always a niche group of customers who he explains are shy, introverted, or just plain busy people out there who just want to pay for their food and get on with their day rather than share their life story with an overly friendly cashier. I actually resonated with that one. I get that one. Sometimes I don't want to deal with anybody. Does that make sense to y'all? Number 3, interactive self-checkout kiosks have been shown to offer customer better control over their order. So this is your Taco Bell customizing your order, your Olive Garden, your airport. And then you put your credit card in. You're not giving your waiter your credit card. You have control over all of it. So it's really cool at Olive Garden. Have y'all been to Olive Garden?
Oh, yes.
Did you? You can pay at your table, and your waiter has a tablet, and it even lets them know that you paid. It also you can also do refills on it. Like I need refills. So if they're busy with other tables, they just go, oh, okay, they need refills. I'll go grab that. They don't have to come back to the table. So customers really like that at these places. And this is the McDonald's study, which I think is fascinating. People spend 30% more on average on self-service kiosks. That's fascinating. That's it. And that was 2004. I wonder what the phenomenon is now. And then this is Christina Forrest, Senior Project Manager for Fujitsu. Some people like to be in control of what's going on. Some people like to have a very private experience. Here's like 2 minutes. Real or imagined, many customers prefer self-checkout options in stores. They perceive them. I never said they were. Perceive them to be faster, easier, and more in control of what they purchase and how, without involving a cashier who may or may not judge them. Okay, so if you just did back to back, which argument was stronger?
In the first one.
Oh yeah. I was really struggling to find good things about it. There's more bad than good, unfortunately. But I don't think we're going to go back to you. I think we're going to see more and more self-checkout, right? Yeah. just know what it is and know what it's intended for, and you know more because now you've done this with me. Got it? Great, good to go. Thank you for coming. All right, if you're, are you doing one paragraph or are you doing two?
It's a little bit.
Okay, so this summer, I want you to bump up to two. Now, sure you're doing one or two? Two. Okay, in the summer, when school's out, I want you to bump up and get used to doing two. You gotta push yourself.
Okay, I like still don't get the structure of like the thing. Basically it's supposed to be like introduction or I suppose.
Well, you're not worried about anything like that. You're just doing body paragraphs right now.
Okay,
Don't even stress about that yet.
okay.
I always give the whole thing because I have people that wanna do the whole thing.
Mhm.
So I always give you lead and conclusion ideas. You're pretty new, focus on the proof, but let me just tell you, leads and conclusions are great. It's like putting the icing on the cake. If you don't have a good cake, it doesn't matter about the icing.
Yeah.
So you really need to focus on the content, because this is the highest point value of your essay anyway. So get really strong on that. And then I promise you, you just start connecting it. After I do them so many times, you just like go, I think I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I didn't start, I took
Oh,
it was, the essay part was actually.
let me stop this so we can talk. I'm gonna zoom this up. Okay, start.